It's newsroom day on this show. Am I? Oh, that's my vodka in the way. I thought something was weird. It is episode 13 of Mosh is Live. As you've probably seen, I don't know, everywhere on social media and on Discord, Avi's on the show, and I'm very excited. And I'm sure everyone else is very excited. A couple things first. There are some new talk, or some new stuff to talk about just in this stream real quick, but I want to just go over the rules again on the chat show. So I look at the chat, but I won't answer questions while I'm talking to Avi. That's kind of saved for the end. Also, any alerts and notification stuff, I see them. I'm not going to break up the talk just to, shout them out. I will shout all those out in the post show as I usually do. Those will all come out. The only big news for the stream right now is the Discord channel is there. There's a button below this panel. It's probably in the chat someplace. You can go there and click and talk with the community and all that stuff. I'm not going to get into that. Let's just go talk to Avi. That's what we're interested in. Let's just do that right now. As soon as I can get this unmuted. Hello. You're on the show now. This is Avi. She is a streamer. She's the streamer spotlight in Twitch Kittens this week. Oh no, wait a second. Now I got her. I forgot to unmute you. She said hi. That's all you missed. Okay. She's a streamer spotlight person in Twitch Kittens this week. She is a streamer. She streams kind of mostly WoW, but also a lot of different party games and stuff that's super fun. All of her information is directly below her face, so you can go there and follow her. And I'm sure she has the same thing on the same name on all the Twitter and all that kind of stuff too. So you can go look at that stuff as well. As we usually start off this entire day is what's on tap. That's what we always talk about. What are we drinking? And it started forever ago with a friend of mine, and we were drinking beer. If you have seen Abby's show, she's a fan of vodka, which she's showing on the screen right now. So I also have vodka, and we're going to drink together as we talk today. Except I'm drinking out of this fancy Capitol building in Washington, D.C. shot glass. I wonder if you can see that. What do you say about that, Abby?
That is a fancy shot glass. I don't know if it's as awesome as my dinosaur shot glass, but it's pretty nice.
I did not know you had a dinosaur shot glass. Now I'm really jealous of my shot glass collection.
Yeah, it's dirty, so it's downstairs because I drank out of it this weekend. But it's black and it has little colored dinosaurs on it, and I should have cleaned it for tonight.
Let's just restart this. We'll do it tomorrow. Cancel the show for tonight. So let's have a drink and cheers to Avi and everyone in the chat and to Twitch Kittens that brought us all together. Cheers.
Cheers, friend.
Okay. Yeah, this is the shot show. We'll see if we finish it. Okay.
I'll finish it. I can go all night.
After
can you?
No. So usually where we start is sort of at the beginning. So when we talked to Kitty and Athena and Lace, we talked about how they started streaming and also sort of what got them into video games. Was that a lifelong thing? Was this sort of something you found recently? Tell us the story of Avi.
Wow. I mean, that's not a loaded question at all. So the story of Avi. So first off, I just want to get into this because I think it's going to be really entertaining. It's Ava Letixa. So nobody knows how to pronounce it, and it's probably not phonetically spelled correctly. But just FYI, kids, you can call me Avi, you can call me Abel. But if anybody's curious on how to actually pronounce it, it's Ava Letixa. Just in case.
That's not how I would have pronounced it. I would have called it something else. I like Abby.
Yeah. Hey, I'm cool with that. I just figured I'd throw that out there because it's always really funny when I follow somebody and I watch them struggle to pronounce it, and then they feel like they have to apologize to me the whole time. So no worries.
You're talking to Mosh crates, right?
Yeah, Mosh crates. Yeah, I don't care what you tell me. I don't care if it's some fucking philosopher. You're Mosh crates.
Okay. What's your story?
Yeah. No, so video games, it started for me a really long time ago. So way back when, we had an N64. I mean, we had a Sega and all that stuff, but I was kind of young to play it. And I vividly remember my mom and my brother were playing Ocarina of Time on the 64, and there were only 2 save spots. And I was pissed because all I wanted to do was play my own game. It's all I wanted to do was play my own run through by myself in the worst way, and I couldn't do it until either of them beat the fucking game. And it was the worst thing ever. And so finally they got through and they beat it, and I went in and I messed around because like after you beat the game, you can like log back in before you beat Ganon, and run around and do other stuff. Like it reverts back to your last save, in case you want to beat it again. So I did that for a little bit and kind of tried to learn my way because basically, my brother would tease me that I wasn't good enough to do it on my own, and I couldn't do it by myself. So finally I was able to save over and, do it myself. And that was just the beginning of the end.
So that started a while ago. What about the streaming? When did that come about?
So I graduated from console games into World of Warcraft when I was in high school. My brother got me into it. And then I met my husband.
Nice.
On World of Warcraft. So I don't know, a lot of people probably don't know that. Hawk and I met on World of Warcraft, and 10 years later we're married, and it's been a couple years now, and we've been together forever, and it's great. Streaming started in December, so I was not a Twitch viewer before I started. Hawk's been a viewer for a number of years, and I didn't get it. And at the big time I was playing Heroes of the Storm. I was really, really into Heroes of the Storm. And I had a group of friends that I was playing with, and I took a week off of vacation in December to, burn up the rest of my vacation time. And my friends were coaching me on how to get better in Heroes. So I was like, well, I'll turn on a stream. Like, you start with kind of Facebook or whatever, and because you can live broadcast that way. And they were like, well, turn on the stream, and then because there's no viewing mode. And then that way they could coach me through what to do on the maps or how to build my characters or that kind of thing, just so I could improve my gameplay. Because I'm just a little bit competitive. I don't know if you guys have caught that. Just the tiniest bit competitive. So
I feel like I had that feeling.
Yeah, right. I it's shocking to everybody that I'm competitive. But so that's how it started. It was like I had a week and I was like, fuck it, I'll make a stream account. I'll make on Twitch. I don't care if nobody follows me, whatever. I'll just do it for my friends and we'll have fun with it. And it was a blast. I think that first week when they were coaching me through everything, I think I had like 5 average viewers. I just never had the followers, right? And then by the time I started to try and do that, it all kind of went downhill. And I had to build it back up, but we got there.
Oh, well, that's good. So you start... So how did you hear? You heard about Twitch through Hawk, and you're just sort of like, I could do that, that kind of thing? Or was it sort of like, yeah, we'll see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, it was a utility thing at first, honestly. It was just because there's no viewer mode in Heroes of the Storm. There's no way for them to watch, until the end with the replay. So it was that way to get that live coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I just kind of started, and then I was like, well, this is kind of fun. Like, and they would come and watch me play. So I was like, well, I raid.
I'll make a huge community of it.
Right. I was like, I raid 3 nights a week. So if I'm already going to play video games, like maybe I'll stream that. And then, people started to pop in, and I started to enjoy the interaction. And like, for me, that's why I play MMOs and party games and that kind of stuff, because I want to play with other people. I would play The Witcher, right? I just started playing Witcher 3. I would go out and I would play that and I would enjoy it. But without that community interaction, right? Like I have to shout out 10 because he fucking coaches me so hard through that game, and it's great and it's hysterical. But without the community and the chat to keep me going and to make the jokes and to laugh and have fun with, like, it's just not the same. So I've fallen in love with it, and I never got it until I started doing it. And then I started, the more you start to stream, the more you start to watch other streamers, so you can learn again, because I'm just mildly competitive, just the tiniest bit. So I started to watch And then I started to fall in love with all these other awesome, super amazing people. And I just got it, and it clicked for me, and I was like, this is what I love to do, and this is what I love to do in my life, in my free time, and I'm gonna do it as long as I can.
So I actually have a question about the WoW part of it. Um, WoW is notoriously pretty hard to stream. Like the top viewers in the WoW community on Twitch are like the Mythic First people or the Super Arena people. But you seem to, every time I see you stream WoW, you have a pretty decent amount of people watching you play WoW. I think it's personally because you're so entertaining, but also you do a lot of like you have mid scenes and like the singing screen and like I don't know what you call it, but that's what it seems like whenever it comes up to me. But it's interesting because I tried to stream WoW for a while, and it's kind of, you have to really have the personality to do it because everyone in the world has played WoW. There's no it's the top 1% of 1% of 1% that are in the top 5 guilds that are actually doing progressing content. So I feel like it's a way more competitive marketplace in WoW than it is in some games. Maybe the same for Fortnite and PUBG, but WoW has been around for so long, and it's always in the top 5 or 10 viewed games. It's it means a lot to even have some X amount of viewers in that freaking game.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. World of Warcraft is, it's like you said, it's so competitive and it's such a tough market to be in. But that's what I do, and that's what I love, and I love being able to share that with other people. I think I'm fortunate to have started streaming it where I am now, because in this point in the expansion, so we're T minus 4 months out from the next expansion drop, and so
Yeah.
I'm a guild leader, I'm a raid leader. Right now, where we are, we've completed heroic progression. So we're starting to push Mythic a little bit, but we don't quite have the roster to do it. So it's really kind of hit or miss a little bit, but I don't have to coach them as hard as I probably could if we were doing progression. So I have a little bit more time to kind of pay attention to what's going on in chat, and kind of talk and engage that way. You'll see some streamers, some of the big guys in World of Warcraft, they could have 4,000, 1,000, 500, 700 people in their chat. Like, I have no idea how you can fucking keep up with that. Like, that's just bananas to me. So I think I've been fortunate that way, that I can engage my viewers and still do what I love to do. But because I'm used to raid leading and being a GM, I'm used to coaching them too. So I'm used to talking to my team while I'm playing. So talking to the chat is no different as long as I can see it. And there's some times where I can't look away, and I'm sure they've all heard me say it like 600 times. Like, I see it scrolling out of the corner, right? Because it's on this monitor over here. I see it scrolling. I will look in a second. Let me just focus for 3 seconds. But I still try and announce what I'm doing so that they have an idea, just in case for any fucked up reason somebody's in to kind of learn the fights for me, which is probably not the place you want to go to do it. But just in case you want to, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, I try and engage with them, and like I said, for me, it's all about that MMO and the interactions and all of that fun stuff. So, the Twitch chat is just another way to do that.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be super hard because don't you heal? I feel like you're a healer.
Yep, so I've done it all.
Yeah, you're healing, which is like kind of monitoring boxes and raid leading and trying to talk to Twitch chat. I assume that can be a nightmare sometimes, especially on a progression fight. You're like, okay, I cannot talk to you guys for like 5 minutes.
It has its moments. But like I said, there's breaks in the fights, and the better I know the fights, the better I know where I can look away for a second and kind of catch up on what's going on. And my chat is great. I know one day I was like super focused on what was going on, and I told him, I was like, just talk amongst yourselves, tell each other a story. And next thing you know, it's like have you ever played the game where like one person tells one line or like what says one word and the next person says the next word, and but you build a story
or something like that.
Yeah, so okay. It's like, right, like once upon a time, Abby went to World of Warcraft. You know what I mean? And they kind of build this story together. And so like one line at a time, kind of in this almost improv game, they were building this story in chat while I was doing the fight, and everyone was perfectly content with that. And that it made my heart melt. And I was like, oh, they really love each other. They're not just here for me, like they're here for each other too. And like we've built such a strong community, hashtag cuddle puddle for life, but I fucking love it.
Well, that's our next topic. Twitch
Oh
community.
shit.
Let's take another drink.
Okay.
So yeah, Twitch communities is the next topic, and I want to talk about both, the one that we're in and the one that you sort of run. Cheers to this. Oh my god. So we know each other through Twitch Kittens. You said in December. I think I started like maybe a month ago. It might have been longer than that because I have lost days without sleep or something. But at some point in time in the last month or a month and a half, I joined Twitch Kittens. I guess I first want to ask, your community Cuddle Puddle, which I'm a part of on Discord and is fantastic and everyone should join it. There's links all over her page, I'm sure, to join it. When did that start? Was it before Twitch Kittens? Slightly after Twitch Kittens? Through some need or something arose where you're just like, I have this close group of friends. Let's go form our own thing, kind of thing.
So, TK is and always will be my primary community. I love TK to death. I am forever grateful for everything that they have taught me and all of the super awesome and wonderful, amazing people that I've met there. It started to me. I just never knew, right? I was such a nub in the beginning, and I joined a Facebook group because that was how I was doing all my World of Warcraft marketing and how I was recruiting people and all of that fun stuff. And I joined a Facebook group for Twitch streamers. And next thing you know, somebody sent me a direct message and was like, hey, have you heard of Twitch Kittens? And I was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, is this some creeper like trying to hit on me on Facebook or is this legit? So sure enough, I like click on it and you know, I get dropped into the middle of this magical 10,000 person community. And I was like, holy fuck, what do I do here? Like, where do I even start?
Yeah,
right?
It's pretty overwhelming. Yeah.
It's crazy, you know, so I started to kind of poke around and I started looking at different channels and surely enough, I fell into Gen 2. And it was my speed and I could keep up with it at work and I loved it. And, you know, the people were so cool. And I remember like Frump and Misfit and KJ and Gloom.
Who's that?
And
Frump?
Athena.
I never heard of that person.
Never heard of her, right? You know, but all of the OG Gen 2 people, you know, so we started chatting and we started forming this community. And the more we would talk, the more people started to kind of fall into Gen 2. And so it became this joke. We were like, give us Gen 3. Like there's too many people in general, and there's too many people in Gen 2 to keep up with. Like we need Gen 3. And especially when I would get going, because I'm really guilty of this. I'm a terrible, distracting, multitasking freak of nature who just chats all day long. So to those of you watching who come back to 1,000 new messages in Gen 2, I personally apologize to you. It is all my fault. But you know, it became this inside joke that we needed Gen 3 and they wouldn't give it to us. So as a joke, I made a Discord server. And the very first channel that was made in that server was Gen 3. And
is that what it's called? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, one of them in there. It was Gen 3.
Awesome.
And it's since evolved, but it was one of those things where we just started joking. Yeah. And it was like a 3-minute conversation, and then we were back in Gen 2. You know, but we just started joking. And you know, Leody had suggested that I name my community Cuddle Puddle, right? Because my whole thing was like tackle cuddling somebody.
Right.
You know, because that was my way of greeting people, and I still do that. So I hope you all enjoy it, your forceful snuggles. But you know, it just became this thing, and then next thing you know, because I was like you, right? Like you talked about this the other day. I was trying to hold off on keeping my community, like from making a personal Discord as long as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Just because it's another thing to maintain and trying to like.
Right.
You can't just make it. You have to police it, and you have to set it up and pay attention to it, and there's no half in as a Twitch streamer. You can't be half a streamer, you can't be half a gangster. You're either a full gangster or you're not a gangster.
Yeah, those are really, really good points. And it's really ironic that today I'm like, hey, I started this Discord server and now we're talking about this. But yep. Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. And I talked about with Lace about this a little bit, and actually with Athena as well, about having a separate community. And I remember thinking and actually saying to them both, is the main reason so you can use your emojis, because that actually seems like a legitimate reason, because you can put them on Discord, and then you know, if you're whatever, it's Discord Prime or whatever it is, you can use them across
Nitro.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that was like a huge reason. I'm like, that'd be cool. And then, you know, you start to look at someone like Ichi or these other guys that are now partners and doing really, really well, and they all have their own communities. I was at, you know, in Roya's channel last night. She has her own community. I'm like, I'm missing out on something here. Like, I gotta do something. So yeah, I just randomly put it together last night. But the Cuddle Puddle community is huge, and they're all awesome people, by the way. But yeah, it's interesting, and you're right. It does kind of add that. Here's one more thing for you to do today. You know what I mean? You have to go through this Discord, and I have to go through this Discord. I mean, at this point, my Discord's like 25 Discords, so it's overwhelming.
Multiply
sometimes.
that times 4, and that's how many I'm trying to keep up with every day. There's probably a good 25 active ones that I'm really good about following.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It's a lot to manage, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, and to any of those streamers out there that are considering, you know, whether they need their own Discord, I mean, use your own discretion. But it's such a great different level of engagement, right? It's so easy for me to lose a message in TK. I love TK. I've met so many super awesome people, and I keep meeting super awesome people every day. Obviously, you guys have honored me with the spotlight this week, and that's crazy and mind-boggling in its own right. But you know, the people in the Cuddle Puddle, they have full access to me almost any time of day, and everybody knows I really only sleep from like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. So, I mean, outside of those hours, even then, I will get back to you. I promise.
Yeah, and that's another good point about Gen Chat 1 and Gen Chat 2. And for those that don't know, it's a Twitch Kittens thing. The two Gen Chats are Gen 1 and Gen 2. And it doesn't even matter at some points during the day. I know, especially in the morning during the weekdays, because everyone's kind of at work and, you know, getting started up, and there's not much happening. There are no meetings yet, and the chat's scrolling like it's watching, you know, Dr. Disrespect chat. Like, that's what it looks like. It's just constant scroll. There's no way to have a conversation in that chat. So, yeah, the side Discord, that's actually a really good point that I didn't think about. The side Discord, or the personal Discord, is actually a better way to have a lengthy, kind of in-depth conversation while you keep contact with, you know, the mothership, you know, if you will, and still maintain those relationships in something like Gen Chat 1 or Gen Chat 2, or, you know, the pictures, threads, or all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's a really good point that I didn't think about. So, okay, let's go to the spotlight, and I want to know. They contacted you about Spotlight at some point, and you said, "Of course, I will do it because I'm awesome, and that's just I knew I was going to be accepted." And then you just immediately, you know, like a fish to water with it, and it was no big deal. I feel like your personality is really, really outgoing. And one of my favorite things is the people that I've had for the last 4 weeks on the show are all amazing people. They're all amazing streamers. But you guys are all slightly different personalities and slightly different streams and slightly different sort of like methodologies to streaming and the community and everything. And yours is by far the most outgoing and voracious of the four. So, you know, as soon as you got it, I'm like, well, yeah, of course she, you know, it kind of makes sense. She's pretty successful, and she has her own successful community, and everyone has so much fun in her chat. Like, it just makes sense that she's the spotlight person for this week. So what were you thinking sort of when they told you? Were you concerned that it was going to be, you know, I already got all this crap to do, I got to do something new now? Was it, yeah, just what was your thoughts when you first found out, I guess?
Yeah, I was shocked. So last week was a terrible week for me in the terms of having something else to do. So it's my busy time at work right now. So I work full time. I love my job, but it's crazy busy. Probably the least active I've ever been on Discord, just because I'm in meetings all day long. And I can't be rude and be on Discord in my meetings. I've tried. My boss has yelled at me.
hang on a second. I gotta post emotes.
Yeah. I was wait. I have 35 tags. I have to respond to them.
I gotta say thank you. Hang on.
Yeah. But when Akiyuki messaged me 10 minutes before I was supposed to go live, I was running late getting home from work. My meetings had gone long, and I was supposed to be setting up a raid group for my raid because I still have all my World of Warcraft responsibilities. I just about shit my pants. I kid you not. I was so shocked. I honestly never thought that I would get it because I'm a little bit more edgy than some of the streamers that we have had.
Sure, absolutely.
And I don't apologize for it. That's who I am. Anybody who's spent 5 minutes in my chat knows that I am who I am, and I don't apologize for it. And life's too short to be anyone else. But I was surprised. I won't lie. And then it just caught me so off guard. But I was so excited, and I'm just honored and blessed to be chosen. Like I and I'm terrible at taking compliments, so I certainly don't think I'm worthy of it.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job.
But yeah, so I mean, it's a crazy week, but like I love it, and the outpouring of love and support was just so overwhelming. And I'm not the type to cry on screen. I don't ever cry really ever. I can count the number of times on one hand. But so it was just we have this running joke. It's swearativity, right? Like I don't cry, I just start swearing more. Because it's the only way I know how to express positive emotions. It's not just nice; it's fucking nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. So I asked Athena the same question last week, and I'm wondering what your thoughts are, because I know you've had a crazy busy week with work, as you just said, but also you have your rating schedule on, so it's like a little nuts to be able to sit down and go, okay, is there something I need to do this? You know what I mean? For this, do I need to go, do some special stream or something like that? Would you have done anything different this week, being the spotlight person, or are you just like, nah, I'm good?
I think maybe the advice that I posted might have been slightly more coherent had I not been doing it at 3:00 in the morning. I don't know if you guys have read it through any of that. I tried to get my thoughts together in a way that would make sense and hopefully would be helpful for somebody. I think it kind of echoes some of the things that I've talked to people about in Gen 2 because, inevitably every couple of days somebody comes up with a really great question or, kind of gets down on themselves. And I always just want to encourage people and spread that positivity and love because, like I said in my spotlight post, it's not a competition. You see it every day. We all talk about it. We're in multiple streams at once. Somebody else being successful does not take away from my success. I just have to be there and be engaging and be entertaining. And the people will come and they will stay if you give them a reason to.
Right. Yeah, that's such a good point. And I see a lot of the Twitch Kittens community people doing it, or at least, we sort of have, I mean, there's the big group that is Twitch Kittens. Then there's some subgroups in there, but there's sort of a group where we sort of hang out all together, and it's funny because you see the same people in a lot of the same streams, a lot of the same chats. So it's like you can have a conversation in one chat, go to another chat, it's like, oh, hey, Glimg, what's up? You know what I mean? He's in this chat too. But the community is so cool in that, like you said, and a lot of us stream on the same nights. So a lot of us stream on, Monday through Friday at 9:00. So I always put this past weekend, I love the weekend because I can do updates on the stream, but I can also go and join everyone else's stream finally because I have to miss them for most of the week. But it's funny because even in that, you'll see, as soon as someone's done streaming, it's not like they immediately log off. Like I'll usually go hang out in someone else's chat. I've seen you come to other people's chats. You know what I mean? Everyone kind of moves around and goes to support somebody else. So that's a really good point that it doesn't have to be competitive. You don't have to be a jealous person about someone else having success or anything like that. We actually had a question in Questions Help today, a guy that was saying that his friend was upset with him, that, he was having more viewers than him or something like that. And I remember, all the responses were, there's a couple different ways to take that, but it's something he needs to work on his own. It's not a competition type thing. There's plenty of viewers for everybody. You know what I mean? There's you could do different things on your stream. It doesn't have to be, oh well, Abby's having success today, so now I'm mad and I'm not streaming. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's natural, right? It's normal. We have those moments where it's like you look at your dashboard and you're like, oh, I have 5 people in my chat, and my super awesome friend has 25 people in their chat. And am I doing something wrong? Do I need to do something different? And you naturally, like, you get a little bit jealous, but that's where the community comes back in, and it's such a great place to be, kind and supportive of each other, and you can have somebody. So, like, for me, it's Pinball Undesirables and it's Elamir. Those two keep me in check. They come back, they slap me upside the head and say, bitch, you're doing great. Keep focusing on what you're doing, right? Or, here's something I noticed that I think you could change. And we reciprocate for each other. And that's part of, being in the community. And that's what makes it a community, is that we support each other, to do all of those things. And that's, I think, what makes it great.
Yeah, that's another good point, actually, in that I'll join a lot of other streams and get ideas from those streams, from your guys' streams. Like, I'll see something cool and they're like, whoa, what the hell was that? I remember joining someone's stream and seeing a face rig for the first time ever. I'm like, what the hell? Is that thing looking at me? Like, what is going on? And so now I'm getting that. Like, I want that now. But same thing, I join other people's channels. I love their, it's kind of a running joke between me and Bananas that I want his voice on my stream. Like, I want to be able to talk like Bananas. And but there's so many cool things where it's, you can take the jealousy and competitiveness out of it and use it as a building tool of your own, and work it into a community where it's like, hey, can you show me how to do this thing? None of us are going to say no. These aren't my trade secrets, what I'm doing here. It's, everyone's super willing to help out, for sure. In Twitch Kittens, if you ask, sometimes Gen Chat gets a little crazy, but there's other ways to ask. You can ask in everyone's stream.
And there's nothing that you see that you don't know what it is, that you can't Google and figure out, or find somebody that can help you, even if that streamer specifically doesn't want to share their secrets. But I mean, it's great. I think we all, just need to hold hands and stay together. I think if you start comparing yourself, you're going to go down 1,000-mile rabbit hole, and you're never going to be happy, because let's face it, there are people that are partnered. There are people that are not partnered. There are people that are at the very top of the chain, and people that, have 1 viewer, and people that have 12,000. Like, you will always be able to find somebody in your category who's a little bit better than you are. And that's okay, right? Like, we all get there, and that's what gives us motivation and to learn and grow and all of that stuff. It's don't start down that rabbit hole, because you'll never claw your way out. It's so hard.
Yeah, that's a good, man. Every freaking stream, I'm like, wow, such cool insights from all you guys. Every time we do this show. How about this? There's a new streamer that wants to know what the number one thing they need to do is to get on the path to success. What is that one thing?
Just one thing, huh?
Just one. Doesn't have to be top, but just one.
Know who you are, right? Know what you bring to the table and what you want to bring to the table. So whether you're Athena or Jamorian and it's a super chill thing, whether it's me and PBU and it's that kind of fun party aspect of it, if it's Gamer Kitty or Skip Natty and it's just like this overwhelming enthusiasm and positivity that you love, do those things. Go find those people, or know what your brand is, right? And then present that, and then the people that are looking for that will come to it. Like you and I were talking about this earlier. There's streams where you go when you want to be cheered up, and there's streams where you go when you want to relax. Yeah. And there's streams where you go when you want to learn how to play the game. Know what you bring to the table and work towards your strength.
And that's actually it brings you another thing. There was some conversation I was involved in, I don't know, maybe a week ago, talking about how there's a lot of streamers that are, successful streamers that are the scream, when something crazy happens, and rage and throw a fit and all that kind of stuff, or do something crazy. There's not a lot of super duper successful streamers that are really kind of relaxed and chill. So it's a really different experience. And then you look at people like the Jim that we are just talking about, and is really successful. You know what I mean? He's growing like crazy. His stream is one of the most chill streams I've ever seen in my life. And I love going there just because he details everything so much. He's so slow, talking to everything. But yeah, it's so cool. And you're right that you should know who you are. You don't need to come in and, and be the doc or be Tyler One or whoever, because there's already one of those people. If someone's going to go try and watch someone that looks like that, aren't they going to go for the one that actually is that person? They're not going to go for the number 2. You know what I mean? But yeah, oh man. God damn it. I love Pinball Stream too. This show is amazing. I love this show.
It's great.
Okay. So next, let's take another drink.
Okay.
And then we'll go on to the next one. You can think about your answer to this. But the question is, your 5-year plan in Twitch. What is the... you could do a short-term and a long-term goal, because I kind of like both those questions. Some people have a short-term goal of, hey, I want to get to, 1,000 followers or something like that, or some X amount of subs, and maybe a long-term goal is partner, or whatever you think. We talked to Lace, and it was, she wants to have a shop, and that's kind of her goal to do her, the creative stuff that she does. So there's a lot of different ideas for us. What is yours?
So I think for me, it's just to continue to grow and not get lost in it. It's crazy sometimes how fast my chat scrolls and how much, how challenging it can be to keep up with it. But like, the reason why I do this is for those guys, and without them, it wouldn't be possible. So I am never going to get to the point where I can't engage with them. That's my number one. So I think if it's numbers goal, right? I'd like to make partner. I really thoroughly would enjoy it, so long as it continues to be manageable to keep up with 75 people in my chat at a time.
Right.
Team Filthy Gorgeous or bust. But we'll see. I still have a full-time job and a husband and 3 beautiful little fur babies that love me and need my support. And a guild that I've committed to and I've been taking care of for years, and those are all my babies, right? Those are all responsibilities that I have, and now I have my little stream community, and I love that too.
It's another interesting thing, because we were talking about this in chat with some of the guys when I was playing PUBG, and we got raided by Visions one day, and the chat just turned crazy, like I couldn't even see anything. And I remember talking to the guys afterwards saying that same thing with the Dr. Disrespect's channel. If you go there and watch his chat, it's insanity. I can't even see the memes before they're off the screen. How someone at that level can parse through chat seems just crazy. But then when I was talking to Modest a little bit, he was saying that guys like Ichi, who have a pretty successable following, obviously, he's doing pretty good. His chat scrolls like crazy too, and he's able to really kind of parse through it and respond to the chat. So I wonder if it becomes sort of a learned thing, like you're able to sort of pick out what's important and kind of skip the memes or something like that, or if there's some kind of mechanism like sub-only chat or something like that that these guys are using. But yeah, it's interesting that when you grow to a certain point, you sort of have to expect some kind of disconnect from your viewership, right? It just sort of is going to happen.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things that we can do, and I've seen it in one of something. I think maybe it was in my stream deck when I was setting it up the other day. I think there's a slow mode on chat. That's my next project. I have it written down somewhere to research. But I think there's a way to kind of slow down the way chat scrolls for you, so you can kind of respond to it. And obviously that's going to increase your delay, but at least you'd be able to kind of scan through and see, what's emote spam and what's a legitimate question in there. I also think it matters what game you're playing too. So some games are more conducive to taking a second to stop and catch up on chat. I had to giggle the other day. Sliced Bananas was hammered, and I love him to death for it. But he was trying to do a helicopter flying mission in Far Cry. And, he'd get like 5-10 seconds in and crash the helicopter and then have to read like 50 chat messages. Because he was struggling to keep up with it. Like he couldn't look at both places at once. And it was hysterical, and I love him to death. But it definitely has those moments. So figuring out like how to do that and how to stay engaged with your chat, but also like level setting expectations with your chat too. So like I said, there's a few times during boss fights where I will tell them like, hey, I will look at chat in a second. I will scroll back up. I will catch up, but give me a second, but them being generous and aware of that too, right? I think when you get into some
Mm-hmm.
of those big chats, that like sometimes you're just talking amongst yourselves as much. Like I think Hawk's watching a streamer right now who's got like 12,000 people in his chat. You
Yeah.
know, he's not talking to them. I mean, maybe he's a little bit, but they're probably talking to themselves more than anything.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
They can see each other's messages go through. So I think if you level set those expectations and you have a good community and you have the right community, they'll chat with each
Yeah.
other. And that is part of the experience of being in a stream that big.
Yeah, you're right. And that it kind of goes to, like you said, setting the expectation for the chat. And, some people go to chats to watch the pro gameplay. You know what I mean? They'll go to Summit or they'll go to the Dock, or Shroud especially is a big one. But, La Croix! I got my La Croix too. But
You're wondering what I'm chasing with.
Oh, but yeah, so they'll go to those chats, and those guys don't even look at the chat. They could barely read through the the alert notifications as they're playing. But
Right.
but yeah, like you're saying, the viewers that go there don't expect a deep conversation with the streamer. They expect pro gameplay, and then maybe some crazy moments, and some excitement at the end of the match or something like that. But yeah, that's a really good point, that there's different viewerships and there's different channels for each sort of conversation. And I think all the people we've had on this show are the conversation type people. I mean, I was joking around with Kitty. I think it was her last day being a spotlight when it went crazy and everyone rated her like 1,000 times or something like that. And she was playing The Witcher, and I was joking with her that she'll never get back on this horse because she fell off a horse or something. And it was literally like 35 minutes later until she got back on the horse, I think, because she was just constantly responding to chat, which is fantastic. You know what I mean? But that's the stream that she runs. That's kind of the stream that you run too. You talk as much as you can, and then you got to raid. Same thing with me. There's a kitty. And, Lace is the same way, and so is Athena. But Lace and Athena are actually they're sort of, Athena plays Skyrim a lot, so it's really, I don't want to say it's easy to pause. There's some hard moments, but it's not like WoW, where it's like, yeah, there's no pause at this point, or in PUBG, I'm not just going to lay down in a field and talk for a little bit. I can't do that. But in Skyrim, you can pause, and like Lace, she can take a break from painting or making clay and the different things that she does. So it's a different view, a different look at streaming, and a different expectation by the viewers. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you gotta find your lane, and you gotta go with your brand, right? So I mean, if you want to have like that chill back chat, like I watch a couple different creative streamers, and they do a great job of kind of taking a few seconds and chatting and engaging that way. And I've seen some big streamers who they're doing their thing and they're explaining what they're doing, but they're not necessarily engaging with chat. You just gotta find what works for you.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And I think it's important that everyone has their own kind of path to that. Because I know some people can break it up with different segments and, different little things they do during the show where people expect, okay, he's not talking now he's going to come back and talk, things like that. Okay, let's go to the final segment, which is the balance of, for you, it's work and Hawk and WoW and streaming, right? I mean, those are kind of the main players. And kitties.
And Lancelot, who will not be ignored right now.
Hey, I know you're talking, but I'm sitting here. Hawk doesn't stream, as far as I know. You have some, you have a set schedule. How does that work out in terms of compromise for time streaming versus the rest? I know that he's a gamer, right? So it's a little bit easier kind of than maybe if you're with someone that is not interested in that world at all. So how did you guys kind of work it out, or was it just pretty natural? Because he's sort of in the Twitch world, as you said.
Yep. So like I said, he was a viewer long before I started streaming. So he gets it and understands it. And in that way we can kind of do things together, because he can give me advice and he can help me with certain things that I necessarily wouldn't think of. Or I've asked him before, I said, which big streamers do you like that you watch that do this? Or, where do I go to look for this thing? Or give me an example of somebody who does XYZ, and I'll go stalk their channel and see what I can learn. So I mean, he's been an invaluable resource to me that way. He also mods for me, so he will make sure that the trolls aren't being too trolly and whatnot. So I mean, he's
Gotta
an
kick
active.
Bananas out a lot.
No, Bananas is great. You know, how else would we sing Gwen Stefani very loud and off key, like 3 times a night? Okay. You know, but he's an active participant too. I mean, there have been times where I've had to run and go do something, you know, grab a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever, you know, and he'll hop on and say hi. There's a command for him in my channel because his comments from the peanut gallery, they make it straight to the microphone. He's only 2 feet away. He's right here. Yep. So there you go. So, you know, he's an active part of it. So even though I'm streaming, I'm scheduled like officially for 3 nights a week, and that follows my World of Warcraft schedule. And those are already nights where I was designated to play World of Warcraft. And he's not playing WoW right now, but he will be playing WoW again at some point. So I mean, that is like together time for a piece of it. The other piece of it is, you know, we have established date nights and that kind of stuff, and sometimes that goes to shit, you know, where we're just doing our own thing, and it's like, well, you know, I'm gonna stream tonight or whatever, you know, but we'll find things to do together. You know, we're going on vacation, so Sunday we leave for Vegas. We're gonna be gone for 4 days. It's gonna be great.
What?
Yep.
Vegas.
But I mean, that's any marriage, right? Everybody has hobbies. How do you find time to balance that with the other people in your lives? How do you balance your family? How do you balance your husband? How do you balance your annoying cat that keeps walking around in your lap while you're trying to be on a talk show? You know, you name it, and you figure it out how to do it. But, you know, like I said, I'm a multitasking freak of nature. But, you know, that's something that, like, Gamer Kitty really explained to me, and I was so proud of her, like on Easter, where she's like, you know, it's a normal day for me, but I'm not going to stream today. I'm not going to stream because this is
I remember that.
Day,
I remember that post.
You know, this is my priority and whatever. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the way I deal with it is my whole family is asleep when I stream. That's what I do. Yeah, that's it's interesting because you know, Athena was talking about her sort of deal with her husband, and Lace has kind of the same, a little bit of deal with her partner. And actually Kitty, I mean, everyone works out their own sort of plan, and then there's sort of a mutual respect on, hey, this is, you know, my stream time, so, you know, there's emergency, we'll go do something else or whatever, but this is sort of like, you know, what I do during these set times or whatever. But it's funny that you say he's kind of like a part of the show. I love that he's a part of the show. That Hawk's a part of the show, and that he just randomly yells out like that.
And anybody that watches for any amount of time, I'm pretty convinced that they're more interested in him than me, and he's gonna come say hi. You know, they might come for me eventually, like initially, but they stay and wait for Hawk to make another appearance.
He might be coming back. We can't leave yet.
No, it's true. I'm telling you.
Awesome. Well, I have some questions for you, and so I guess we'll do that now. So my biggest question is, I didn't know that that you and Pinball were, you know, like, are you friends in real life, or what is the connection there? Because you were actually mentioning something, I think, on social media about Pinball, or I think you posted the vodka bottle with the vodka you're drinking, and that the Pinball friends brought that for you or something like that. Are they real life friends that live close, and what's the relation to that?
No, so those are just people that I happened to meet in the community. So I was in Gen 2 one day, and we were talking about growth and all sorts of stuff, and I made a comment because, you know, as soon as I joined TK, I started networking, and I didn't know. I had no idea. I was a baby streamer. I'm a fucking pro, you know, and all of a sudden my shit just exploded, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out, man. I'm growing faster than I know how to handle it. I don't have enough time to set the shit up, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, PBU messaged me, and he was like, yo, so let me look at your Selling Gnome stats. It's going to be okay. I will help you with some of these things. And I was like, oh, thank God, somebody gets it and understands and can help me. And it was perfect and great and wonderful. And so, you know, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go check out this guy's channel. And the first time I dropped in, it was not PBU, it was Skip Natty, who is his stream partner. And he streams one of the nights, and then PBU streams the other 2 nights, and then unscheduled they kind of do whatever the fuck they want. And then I was like, well, who is this person? And I was like, oh, this is Skip Natty. This is not the person I've been talking to in DMs, or in general too. And I was like, okay, so let me go follow him. Great, because he does retro gaming on his off nights when he's not playing pinball. And I just kind of fell in love with the whole pinball community. Like, those guys are so sweet. They're so nice. They're some of the best friends a girl can have. They get me. They understand me. They are not afraid to slap me when I'm being stupid. And they've been so fucking supportive. So when I found out that Skip Natty was coming down to Chicago to come on vacation with his wife, he reached out to me and said, hey, you want to get together and play some pinball? And I was like, fuck yeah, where are we going to go? And, so I drove into the city on Friday, and, they show up and they're like, oh, we heard it was your anniversary, and here, we got you a present, right? So they bring me this vodka. It's Valentine. It's straight from Detroit. And it's amazing. Like, that somebody would go out of their way to get something like that for me, that knows and understands who I am as a person. And, it's just crazy to me that they would do that. And I think that's fucking great. And it's excellent vodka, by the way, in case anybody is wondering. If you can find it, I highly recommend you buy it, because it's great. But yeah, he was so sweet, and so between the two of them, Skip and PBU, like, they're just fucking awesome.
Yeah, I actually went into PBU's channel yesterday when he was doing the Total Annihilation game, and this is how much I know about pinball. When I was younger, there was a restaurant called the Ground Round in Rochester, and my parents took us there every Friday, and they had an Indiana Jones pinball machine. This is the end of my knowledge of pinball. So it's like, it was really interesting watching him do it, because I'm watching him stream, and he's like, yeah, now we got to open up this reactor, and now the reactor's open, we got to go, I forget what he said, up into this area and do these cooling vents or something, and then it opens up reactor 2 out of some X amount. I'm like, how? There's actually like a game to this game?
Yeah. So I didn't know shit about pinball the first time I joined their channel, and I have learned so much in the last couple of days, or the last couple of weeks that I've been watching them. Like, so I actually played that game on Friday with Skip Natty at Logan Arcade in Chicago. And that is a hard game. It is a really, really hard game. It was way above my my skill level. I don't know why the fuck somebody let me play that, because I felt really bad about myself. But then we played Attack from Mars, and it was all better. But
was it a pinball only place?
No. So it's like a bar, and they have classic arcade cabinets, and they have a shit ton of pinball machines. So it was so much fun. I've never laughed so hard in my entire life, and we got fucking hammered. But yeah,
that's awesome.
you meet these communities, right? And like, I haven't played pinball in, I don't know, probably like 15 years, right? Like, when was the last time I went to a bar and they just so happened to have a pinball machine, and I was like, all right, well, I'll spend a couple dollars. Right? But I saw them playing this, and they were having so much fun. And like, PBU, he'll go out on location, and he'll stream from a brewery, and he's got all of his friends there. That's awesome. And they're drinking and they're playing, and it's like, somebody described it to me like the other day. So I was talking to another streamer who was asking for some advice on something, and they're like, I never thought about the way you stream until like I stumbled into your channel. He was like, you are so chill, and it's like I'm sitting on the couch across the way from you, like just hanging out, and we're just chilling. He's like, that like opened up a new zone for me, right? It's not this wild, crazy, exciting, bananas thing that's going on all the time. He's like, it's like we're hanging out. And that was the same way I felt that when I fell into PBU's channel, because I was like, oh, I feel like I'm at the bar with them. And I was like, I want that. Yeah. I want to do that. I want to have fun with that, right? And that's what he's all about. So sure enough, I went out and I played pinball, and I had a blast. And we went out Friday, and I played pinball, and I had a blast. And like, there was 5 of us there, and we were laughing, we were joking, we were drinking, we were having fun. And like, that's the beauty and the magic of Twitch, right? It brought that to me.
Yeah.
Like, I would have never thought about that. I would have never met those people.
That's true. We need to get a meetup together, some kind of small meetup. We're gonna figure this out.
Hell yeah, man.
Okay, I have another question. There is a admin meeting coming up for Twitch Kittens, and there was a post about what do you think you'd like to see something different or something added. And I know from I got her question in about Gen Chat 3 / veteran chat kind of thing. Do you have any other suggestions, or pretty good?
No, I love Gen 2. I love Gen 2, Gen 3. I love TK. I think that people need to level set expectations when they join. I think a lot of the times people come into it and they expect a certain thing when they join.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've joined this community and I'm just going to hit affiliate tomorrow and I'm going to hit partner next month. And, everyone's just going to turn around and love and support me immediately with no effort on my part whatsoever. Like, that is not what the community is. The community
Right.
is a platform. It is an opportunity for you to go out there and make connections and meet people. You have to go in and put in the time and the effort. If you chat twice and all you do is say hi, or you do lurk, like, we're streamers. We don't call out lurkers. Let lurkers lurk. If that's the way you're engaging, you're gonna have a bad time.
That's
right?
like my biggest pet peeve. Yeah, I hate that.
So you have to go out there and you have to build those relationships and learn something about them, right? And not just say like, oh, I'm going live in Fortnite in 10 minutes. Does anybody want to play with me? No.
Yeah,
Get to know them outside of their stream. Not just, hey, can you help me set up my bot? But, hey, how was your weekend? What did you do? What did you make for dinner last night? What's your favorite alcohol to drink? Did you happen to know that a squirrel's teeth can grow up to 10 inches in a year if they don't continually eat? Whatever the fuck the case might be, if it's sprouting random animal facts, which is just, happens to be my thing, or whatever the case might be, like, go build those relationships. And that's how you're going to grow. And that's how you're going to make friends for life. And that's going to translate way beyond Twitch.
Yeah, man, I need to like bookmark these shows where I can put like, here's a good message, here's a good lesson, you know what I mean, and then make a compilation, and then we'll use that as a guide for everyone that comes in. They have to at least watch the video once so they get it. But yeah, we get tons of questions about that. I mean, you see them all the time. The same suggestions back. Hey, did you try, I don't know, going to someone else's stream and saying hello? Like, why would you expect support from everyone if you support no one? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I think if you were going to do anything, you could probably put together like an FAQ of like frequently asked questions. And, you can pin it, and we all know how great people are about reading pinned messages. But it would be something that you could direct people to, like in the welcome channel. Maybe that's somehow less overwhelming. I don't know. Just another option, another resource for people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And actually, I think there might be one of those documents in the resources channel, like at the super very bottom out of like 600 links or whatever's on that page. So I think there might be some kind of guide down there. I forget what it is. I didn't read it. I don't know.
Hot damn. Veteran status, and I've never seen it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I scrolled down and looking for images one day, and then I saw something. I'll have to go take a look to be sure.
That's funny.
Okay, it has been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me, Mosh.
Yeah, I'm super happy you came on the show. Let's take another shot before you go, and then we can talk in the post channel. Everyone that's watching, you can see her 3 times a week, more times than that times a week, at the link that is beneath her screen right there. You can follow her on Twitter at the same handle, and I think on Instagram at the same handle, if I'm pretty sure.
Yep, I made it all easy. Just you have to learn how to spell it.
There you go. Ava Latixa. Is that right?
You said it right! Yay!
You can also find the community that we're talking about, TK, below this screen if you click on the Twitch Kittens button. And there is... Oh my god. Post show is going to be rough. No. You can find the Cuddle Puddle community on Ava Latixa's page, so you can go there, and if you want to check out her community as well. I will be back in just a minute on the post show if you want to stick around. If not, thank you so much for watching. I will get to all the announcements and all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You're my favorite person. Thank you for being here.
No, you're my favorite person.
Yes. All right. I'll see you guys in a minute.